It finally happened. Kayla Harrison didn't just debut. She steamrolled the UFC Women's Bantamweight champion, got the belt, and then called out Amanda Nunes face-to-face. This wasn't a fight. It was a massacre in slow motion, illegal strikes, brutal grappling, a one-sided domination, and now the biggest women's fight in MMA history is on deck.
Kayla just got here to the scene. Anything to say about it?
You started your career in 2009. You're 10-5. I started in 2018 and I'm 17-1.
Yeah, it's easy to be 17-1 when you're fighting frickin' tomato cans.
Who have you fought?
What was that? Who have you?
Who gave her a mic?
From the opening bell, Julianna Peña looked like she was fighting for her life, and it went downhill fast. Kayla Harrison came in 10 pounds heavier, stronger, nastier, and meaner. Peña, known for her grit, landed not one, but 2 illegal upkicks to Harrison's head. Ref Vitor Ribeiro immediately docked a point, and from there, it was over. By round 2, Kayla toyed with her transition smoothly, locked in a Kimura.
So I heard the clapper, and I was like, well, let me just give it a little yank and see what happens. And next thing I know, he's pulling me off, saying that she tapped. I didn't even feel a tap, so I was like, oh, wow, I'm UFC champion.
And just like that, Julianna Peña tapped out. UFC 316. No mercy, no doubt, no escape.
2-ranked bantamweight contender, Kayla Harrison.
Kayla Harrison attempting to make, I should say, let's give it a few seconds here, making 135. There it is, 135.0 for the first time in her career. I mean, that right there is the first most important thing for her to have success.
But here's the wild part. Harrison nearly quit just trying to make weight. She was crying backstage, said she wasn't strong enough, and only God could get that last pound off. From 155 pounds in PFL to 135 in the UFC, that cut almost ended her run before it started, and yet she came in and broke the champ like it was sparring day. And then it happened. Kayla got her belt and immediately called for the queen, Amanda Nunes, retired, legendary, and already cage side stepped in. We knew this was going to happen, right? Boom, it's on. The greatest of all time versus the most dominant Olympian turned champion the sport has seen. A fight years in the making. And now, it's not just personal, it's historical. This isn't just another title fight. This is GOAT versus Challenger Legacy versus Destiny. Amanda Nunes retired on top. Double champ 2-division monster. 16 UFC wins. 7 title defenses. No one close. But here comes Kayla Harrison. 2 Olympic gold medals, PFL world titles 16-1, a monster at 155, now dominating at 135. She said it herself, I want what Amanda has. I have a belt, she has a legacy. Let's put it on the table, but let's not act like there's no drama here. Was it even fair? Kayla looked way bigger than Peña. Should she be fighting at 145 instead of 135? And is Amanda Nunes walking into a trap after a full year away? If Kayla wins, we're talking about the most dominant female athlete in MMA history. If Amanda wins, she closes the chapter forever as the one true GOAT. But someone's legacy is going to burn.
Listen, I'm going to give Amanda as much time as she needs to prepare. I want her to be the best her. I'm going to be the best me. We're going to go in there and make some absolute magic in the women's division. We're going to break some records and make some history. And we're both going to make a lot of money doing it. And we're going to bring women's MMA to a whole new level.
I remember last fight week in Salt Lake City, Julianna was speaking about the way that Raquel would have actually represented this division. And being the fact that you're the challenger this week, what do you feel, or how do you feel about the way that Julianna represents this division?
I feel nothing. I focus on myself. I focus on how I carry myself, what I can do. I try not to throw stones from a glass house. Nobody's perfect. We're all doing the best we can, but there's going to be a new face of women's MMA very soon.
And speaking about the trash talk, I know we've been talking about that kind of all day now, but for you, there was a lot of trash talk that you had to get through to get to the actual fight. Do you think this may have been the most trash talk you ever had to deal with, and how did it kind of affect you throughout the past couple weeks or months?
I mean, I think hands down, this is the most trash talk. Like, the talk itself is trashy. I don't know if it's good trash talk, but it's trashy. This is the most I've ever had to endure. It's the worst trash talk I've ever had to endure too, I'll tell you what. Being a female, being in a male dominant sport, like going to American Top Team, you think I don't hear shit all day, every day? I walk into the gym and they're starting to, but this is just poorly done. I'm ready to fight. I'm done talking about it. I'm ready to fight.
When you get the job done on Saturday night, that would be 3 fights into your UFC career before you become, or when you become UFC champion. How does that sit with you? Because that's pretty remarkable itself.
It's pretty damn good, you know? I think it's 3 fights in the UFC, but this is a lifetime in the making. You know, I've been on the mat since I was 6 years old. I have been doing 2 a day since I was 12 years old. 20 some years of training twice a day, every day, with the pursuit and the goal of being the best possible version of myself in mind. So it might only be 3 fights in the UFC, but this has been a lifelong journey, and I'm really excited.
Tonight we got that with Amanda Nunes. We don't get George St. Pierre much, but even George St. Pierre's retirement wasn't like Amanda, because she's a double champion at the moment that she walks away from the game. This woman has meant so much to the UFC. She has meant so much to 2 divisions. But now the division at Bantamweight opens up. The Bantamweight division opens up, and now she is going to allow for all these fighters that she has beaten, the Holly Holmes of the world, the Julianna Peñas, the Valentina Shevchenkos, who, if she wants to go to 135, Irene Aldana tonight, an opportunity to pursue a championship again without her as that roadblock that's been there for so long. In the co-main event, Charles Oliveira fought Beneil Dariush. And by the time
now that she's come in the UFC and she's actually won the belt and fought her way up, Amanda, people respect what Amanda did here. So I agree with you. It felt big. It was a badass stand. It was all organic. None of that was fake. We had no intentions of her going up into the octagon. I actually had to tell the guys to let her up. They weren't even letting her in. So yes.
Kayla Harrison just said she's willing to break the rules. Amanda Nunes just re-entered the drug testing pool. And Dana White, he's actually considering a loophole exemption to make the fight happen this year. This is not a drill. The biggest women's MMA fight in history is closer than ever, but it's now wrapped in controversy. Kayla Harrison wants Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes is finally back in the testing pool. But here's the catch by the official rules. She can't fight until 2026 unless Dana White bends the rules, and Harrison, she's all for it.
A lot of people thought that Ronda was going to win. A lot of people. The moment she got hit, she's not moving her head at all. She's standing straight up in the air. I think when Amanda hits girls, they just go, holy shit.
Yeah.
And then they start moving, but their legs are too close together. They kind of know what to do, but it's just their balance isn't good. There's no head movement. She was probably hurt with like the second or third punch that Amanda hit her with. She was probably on Queer Street.
Amanda Nunes walked away in 2023. The GOAT, a double champ, the Lioness. But as soon as Kayla Harrison wrecked Julianna Peña and grabbed that belt, fans and maybe even Nunes herself knew it was time. Earlier this week, Nunes re-entered the UFC's drug testing pool. That's the first official step for a comeback. But there's a problem. By current rules, she must be in the pool for 6 months before she can fight, which means no Nunes versus Harrison until January 2026. Or so we thought.
In a weird or strange way, the fight before the fight, does that help you mentally prepare to take on Holly Holm?
You know, it's funny because I never really cut weight in my fighting career, so I feel way more violent. I feel way more violent now than I ever have. And I don't know if it's because of the discipline, because of the sacrifices, because of the lack of calories. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but I feel super focused, super dialed in, and super ready.
At UFC 318, Kayla Harrison dropped a bomb. I'm willing to bypass the rules. For a small fee, I'll fight Nunes anyway. Wait, what? Kayla is ready to bypass drug testing timelines and fight Amanda now. She's even joking about paying off the system just to make it happen. Is that a joke? Or is the UFC actually considering it? Because what happened next raised eyebrows across the MMA world, Dana White was asked about it. Would he consider letting Nunes fight sooner than the 6-month testing rule? I don't know. We'll definitely look into it. I don't hate it. Read that again. The boss of the UFC just said he's open to breaking protocol for the right fight. Remember, USADA is no longer running UFC testing. The UFC now controls its own testing system, which means they can bend the rules whenever they want and for the biggest women's fight in UFC history. Don't be surprised if they do.
So for me, mental preparation is, like I said, it's just as important as the physical preparation. You know, I don't skip days at the gym and I don't skip days of working out my mind. So my only goal has been to be world champion and to be Olympic champion.
This fight is bigger than titles. It's a generational war, the undefeated Olympian versus the undisputed GOAT. But if Nunes gets special treatment, what message does that send? Are we now skipping drug testing rules for money fights? Is Kayla too dominant, too dangerous, that the UFC is willing to throw the rulebook out the window? And don't forget, Nunes hasn't fought since 2022. Do you want her walking into a Kayla Harrison war without proper testing time?
Yeah.